Dr. B. Venkateswarao, Radiant Chemistry, Andhra Leela College, Vijayawada, Krishna District, Andhra Pradesh. I would like to show a lesson on carbohydrates.
Voiced by Dr. B. Ramraj Lakshmi, Associate Professor, Lakhireddy Balareddy College of Engineering, Mayilavaram. This is a lesson on carbohydrates. Following is a list of contents which we are going to deal with. Chiral objects, DNL notation, DNL forms, classification, monosaccharides, structures of important monosaccharides, and cyclic structures. Importance of carbohydrates to us. Carbon dioxide along with water in a process of photosynthesis in the presence of chlorophyll and light gets converted to glucose. And glucose in turn gets polymerized into cellulose-giving structure to plants, which gives rise to clothing fiber and wood. Glucose also gets polymerized into starch, plant seeds, which in turn eaten up by animals, and it gets stored in the form of glycogen in the liver of animals. And in other way, glucose breaks down into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Before getting into the details of carbohydrates, let us just consider a few of the fundamentals. First and foremost are the chiral objects. A carbon is chiral if it has 4 different groups. Chiral compounds have the same composition but are not superimposable. Second important thing is mirror images. The 3-dimensional structure of a chiral compound has a mirror image. Let us try it ourselves. Your hands are chiral. Try to superimpose your thumbs, palms, back of hands, and little fingers. Is it possible? Why? Or why not? This slide shows 2 compounds, compound A and compound B. Let us try to determine if there is a chiral carbon in each compound. Ready with the answer? I hope so. Let us now discuss the solution for this. Yeah, it's compound A is the chiral compound. 4 different groups are attached to the second carbon atom, whereas the answer is no, that's negative, because 2 H atoms are identical in compound B. Let us now consider the third important aspect, D and L notation. If the OH group on the next to the bottom carbon atom, highest numbered asymmetric carbon, points to the right, the isomer is a D isomer. If it points to the left, the isomer is L. The D form is usually the isomer found in nature. This slide shows a compound showing D notation. Next to the bottom carbon atom has highest numbered asymmetric carbon. OH group is attached on its right. So this is said to have D notation. Here are 2 more examples for D notation. These 2 compounds are called enantiomers. They are displayed in Fischer projection. One to the left is D-glyceraldehyde, and to my right is L-glyceraldehyde. The next to the bottom carbon atom with highest numbered asymmetric carbon and OH attached to the right in D-glyceraldehyde. Different structural forms of D-glyceraldehyde and L-glyceraldehyde are shown again in this slide. Let us now deal with yet another fundamental aspect, optical activity, which is denoted by small d and small l forms. Whereas earlier we have already used capital D and capital L for configurations. Remember, small d and small l forms for optical activity. Optical activity is related to the rotation of plane polarized light. Enantiomers rotate light in opposite directions but same number of degrees. Optical activity is measured by polarimetry. Monochromatic light is used to measure optical activity. Monochromatic light is obtained from sodium lamp. When monochromatic light is passed through sample cell, the sample may or may not rotate plane of plane polarized light towards any direction. If sample solution rotates plane of plane polarized light towards right or in clockwise direction, it is called dextrorotatory, represented by small d. If sample solution rotates plane of plane polarized light towards left or in counterclockwise direction, then it is called levorotatory, represented by small l. If sample solution does not rotate the plane of plane polarized light, then it is called mesocompound or mesosample. Rotation obtained from earlier experiment is observed rotation. Observed rotation depends on the length of the cell and concentration, as well as on the strength of optical activity, temperature, and wavelength of light. Specific rotation is equal to alpha observed rotation by C into small l. C is concentration in gram per ml. Small l is length of path in decimeters. Now calculate alpha d. A 1 gram sample is dissolved in 20 ml ethanol. 5 ml of this solution is placed in a 20 centimeter polarimeter tube at 25 degrees centigrade. The observed rotation is 1.25 degrees counterclockwise. Now let us discuss the solution. Alpha 20D, that is specific rotation at 20 degrees centigrade of sodium line D, is equal to alpha by C into small l. Alpha is observed rotation at 20 degrees centigrade, which is 1.25 degrees. Small l, the cell length in decimeter, that is 2. C is concentration in gram per ml, which is 1 gram per 20 ml. Ultimately, alpha is equal to 1.25 degrees by 2 decimeter into 1 gram per 20 ml, which counts down to 12.5. Another fundamental aspect is racemic mixture. Mixture with equal quantities of D and L enantiomers. Their notation is DL or positive and negative. They have no optical activity. The mixture may have different boiling point and melting point from the enantiomers. Racemic products. If optically inactive reagents combine to form a chiral molecule, a racemic mixture of enantiomers is formed. Here is an illustration of one of the racemic products of racemic mixture of 2 butanol enantiomers. Now let us learn carbohydrate in detail. Major source of energy from our diet are carbohydrates. They are composed of the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. They are produced by photosynthesis in plants. Carbohydrates are defined as polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones or substances which give these on hydrolysis and contain at least one chiral carbon atom. It may be noted here that aldehydic and ketonic groups in carbohydrates are not present as such, but usually exist in combination with one of the hydroxyl group of the molecule in the form of hemiacetals and hemiketals respectively. The carbohydrates are divided into 3 major classes. First, monosaccharides. The monosaccharides or polyhydroxyaldehydes are polyhydroxyketones which cannot be decomposed by hydrolysis to give simpler carbohydrates. Examples of monosaccharides are glucose and fructose, both of which have molecular formula C6H12O6. Glucose or fructose, when added with water, undergo no reaction but in turn gets dissolved. Second being oligosaccharides. The oligosaccharides are carbohydrates which yield a definite number, that is 2 to 9 of monosaccharide molecules on hydrolysis. They include disaccharides which yield 2 monosaccharide molecules on hydrolysis. For example, sucrose and maltose, both of which have molecular formula C12H22O11. Sucrose on hydrolysis, that is, when water is added, it undergoes change and splits up into glucose and fructose. Similarly, maltose on hydrolysis, that is, when added with water, now becomes glucose. Trisaccharides, which yield 3 monosaccharide molecules on hydrolysis. For example, raffinose, which has molecular formula C18H32O16. Raffinose on hydrolysis splits up into glucose, fructose, and galactose, and tetrasaccharides, etc. Third, polysaccharides. The polysaccharides are carbohydrates of high molecular weight which yield many monosaccharide molecules on hydrolysis. Examples are starch and cellulose, both of which have molecular formula C6H10O5N. C6H10O5N, that is starch, on hydrolysis gives rise to glucose. Let us stop our lesson here and have a little revision. Types of carbohydrates are monosaccharides, disaccharides containing 2 monosaccharide units, polysaccharides containing many monosaccharide units. Monosaccharides having 3 carbons is triose, 4 carbons is tetrose, 5 carbons is pentose, 6 carbons is hexose. Classification of monosaccharides based on the number of carbon atoms. Tetroses are D-erythrose and D-threose. Examples of pentoses are D-ribose, D-arabinose, D-xylose, D-lysose. Examples of hexoses are D-allose, D-altrose, D-glucose, D-mannose, D-gulose, D-iodose, D-galactose, D-talose. Examples for heptoses are D-pseudoheptulose and D-manoheptulose. So this slide shows the list of carbohydrates with relative sweetness. As is shown here, the maximum sweetness is found in fructose, which is 173, whereas the minimum sweetness is found in lactose, which is 15. At this juncture, let us have a small test on what we have learned till now. Let me ask you a question. Which of the following is the sweetest sugar? A. Fructose, B. Glucose, C. HFCS, that is 42% fructose, and D. Tagatose. Are you ready with the answer? Yes, it is fructose. Monosaccharides. Aldoses are monosaccharides with an aldehyde group and many hydroxyl groups. Ketoses are monosaccharides with a ketone group and many hydroxyl groups. Here are the structures of 2 compounds. Identify each as tetrose, pentose, or hexose, and as aldose or ketose. I know you have done it. First structure, that is A, is aldose and hexose, whereas the second is ketose and pentose. Let us now learn about glucose. The name gluc comes from the Greek word glycis, which means sweet, and the suffix -ose denotes sugar. 2 stereoisomers of the aldohexose sugars are known as glucose, only one of which, that is D-glucose, is biologically active. This form is often referred to as dextrose monohydrate, but in food industry especially, it is simply called as dextrose. Here is the structure of glucose. In solution, glucose exists in ring form. Here is the structure of D-fructose. This slide shows the structure of D-galactose. Constitution of glucose. Its molecular formula. From the elemental analysis data, the molecular formula is found to be C6H12O6. Presence of 5 hydroxyl groups. When glucose is treated with acetic anhydride, it forms glucose pentacetate. This indicates the presence of 5 OH groups. Presence of a carbonyl group. Glucose reacts with HCN to form glucose cyanohydrin. Glucose reacts with hydroxylamine to form glucose monooxime. The above 2 points suggest the presence of carbonyl group in glucose. Presence of an aldehyde group. Glucose reacts with Phelan solution and reduces Phelan solution, giving red precipitate. Glucose is oxidized into gluconic acid. Glucose reacts with Tollens reagent and reduces Tollens reagent and forms silver mirror. Glucose here is oxidized into gluconic acid. The above points indicate the presence of aldehyde group in glucose. Conformation of an aldehyde group. The presence of aldehyde group in glucose is confirmed by its oxidation to gluconic acid having the same number of carbons as shown below. As aldehyde group is monovalent, it must be present at the end of the chain. Straight chain of 6 carbon atoms. Glucose on reduction with concentrated HI and red phosphorus gives 2-iodohexane and N-hexane. This indicates that 6 carbon atoms in glucose are present in straight chain. Glucose on oxidation with bromine water gives gluconic acid. This gluconic acid reacts with excess of HI to give N-hexanoic acid. This confirms the presence of a straight chain of 6 carbon atoms in glucose. Glucose cyanohydrin on hydrolysis followed by reduction with HI gives N-heptanoic acid. This further confirms the presence of a straight carbon chain in glucose. Open chain structure of glucose. On the basis of the above points, glucose may be assigned following part structure. Supplying hydrogen atoms to the 5 carbon atoms to satisfy their tetravalency, following structure may be assigned to glucose. Configuration of glucose. If we examine the general formula of aldohexose, we see that it contains 4 asymmetric carbon atoms. This means that 16 optical isomers are possible. D and L forms of allose, altrose, glucose, mannose, gulose, idose, galactose, and tallose. Only 3 of the 16 possible aldohexoses are found in nature. All these 16 isomers have been prepared synthetically also. They are D-glucose, D-mannose, D-galactose. None of these 3 optical isomers is a mirror image of any of the others. So all these are diastereomers of each other. You can see the configuration of glucose on this slide. Objections to open chain structure of glucose. Open chain structure explains most of its reactions but fails to explain the following facts. Glucose does not restore Schiff's reagent color. Glucose does not react with NaHSO3 and does not form glucose sodium bisulfide. Glucose does not react with ammonia and does not form aldehyde ammonia compound. Glucose reacts with acetic anhydride and forms 2 isomers of glucose pentaacetates. They do not react with carbonyl reagents. Open chain structure does not explain mutarotation. Glucose reacts with methyl alcohol in presence of HCl gas and forms two isomers of methyl glucosides. Mutarotation. Mutarotation is a term given to the change in the observed optical rotation of a substance with time. Glucose, for example, can be obtained in either its alpha or beta pyranose form. The two forms have different physical properties such as melting point and optical rotation. When either form is dissolved in water, its initial rotation changes with time. Eventually, mutarotation of D-glucose is shown in this slide. After being dissolved in water, the alpha and beta forms slowly interconvert via the open chain form. An equilibrium state is reached that contains 64% beta and 36% alpha. Ring structure. Tollin in 1883 proposed a cyclic hemiacetal 5-membered ring, gamma oxide ring, between first and fourth carbon atom of D-glucose. However, later on, Haworth, Hurst, and their co-workers in 1926 established the presence of a 6-membered ring, amylene oxide or delta oxide ring, between first and fifth carbon atoms. 6-membered ring structure of glucose is shown in the slide. Explanation against objections using ring structure. As the ring structure of glucose has no free aldehyde group, it does not react with weak reagents like NaHSO3, NH3, and Schiff's reagent, but it reacts with strong reagents like HCN, NH2OH, C6H5NH2, etc., because these reagents open the ring to make aldehyde free and reacts with aldehyde group of glucose. In the ring structure, one new asymmetric carbon is created. It may have two glucose isomers. As there are two forms, alpha form and beta form, glucose gives two methyl glucosides and two glucose pentaacetate derivatives. The two slides coming up show the preparation of glycosides. Two glucose pentaacetates are shown in this slide. Cyclic structure of glucose, mutarotation. An interesting phenomena occurs when the alpha and beta forms of glucose are put into separate solutions and allowed to stand for several hours. The phenomena that occurs is called mutarotation, and this is shown below. Mutarotation is the best evidence for the cyclic hemiacetal structure of D-glucose as shown above. Determination of ring size. Approach 1. The size of the ring can be determined from the structure of the open chain form. The observed 4-carbon and 5-carbon dicarboxylic acids indicate free OH was on C5. Determination of ring size. Approach 2. An acetal of the monosaccharide is oxidized with excess HiO4. The alpha hydroxyaldehyde formed from HiO4 oxidation is further oxidized to formic acid and another aldehyde. About ring size. The presence of 3 methoxy groups in the last structure indicates the presence of 3 methoxy groups and hence the presence of hydroxyl groups inside the ring of glucose. The lactone formation involves C1 and C5, and the lactone must be delta lactone and the glucose must be 6-membered. Convention for indicating ring size of glucose. The 5-membered ring of glucose is denoted by the term furanose. The word is derived from furan. The 6-membered ring of glucose is denoted by the term pyranose. The word pyranose is derived from pyran. Haworth structure for D isomers. The cyclic structure of a D isomer has the final CH2OH group located above the ring as shown below. Haworth structure for D-glucose. Write OH groups on the right up for C2, C4. Write OH groups on the left down for C3. The new OH on C1 has two possibilities, down for alpha anomer, up for beta anomer. Pyranose ring formation involves OH group at C5. This slide shows the cyclic structure of beta-D glucopyranose. This slide shows the Hayward structures for alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. This slide shows how the open chain structure of D-glucose gets closed into pyranose form and furanose form. Now let us have a minutes test. Open chain structure of alpha D galactose is given here on this slide. Try to write the cyclic form of it. Here is a solution for it. Test for glucose. Benedict's reagent. Benedict's reagent is a solution of the citrate complex of CuSO4 in water. It is used as a test for reducing sugars. Cu+2 is a weak oxidizing agent. A reducing sugar is one which has an aldehyde function or is in equilibrium with one that does. A positive test is the formation of a red precipitate of Cu2O. D-glucose and D-mannose are epimers. The conversion of D-glucose into D-mannose via enediol is called epimerization. This equilibration can be catalyzed by hydroxide ion. D-glucose or D-mannose and D-fructose are isomers. The conversion of D-glucose or D-mannose into D-fructose via enediol is called isomerization. Reduction to alditols. The carbonyl group of a monosaccharide can be reduced to an hydroxyl group by a variety of reducing agents including NABH4 and H2 oxidation to carboxylic acids. Glucose is converted into gluconic acid and glucaric acid with different catalysts. Do too many carbohydrates make us fat? Yes, we all know that the answer is absolute yes. If you eat more calories than you expend in energy, then anything can be stored as fat, protein, fat, or carbohydrate. However, if you do not take in any carbohydrates into your body, you will use fat as fuel. The next question is, what do we do with all the sugar? Plants store glucose in the form of polysaccharides known as starch in their roots, whereas animals store glucose in the form of a polysaccharide known as glycogen in our liver and muscle cells. Mutarotation is the best evidence for the cyclic hemiacetal structure of D-glucose as shown above. Qualitative analysis. There are various tests that can be used to detect the presence or absence of carbohydrates or sugars. Some of these tests are Molish reaction, Anthron reaction, iodine test, Benedict test. Molish reaction. In this reaction, the perfural that is formed from the carbohydrate by the sulfuric acid condenses with the phenol to give the characteristic color. Procedure. 2 ml of a sample solution is placed in a test tube. 2 drops of the Molish reagent, that is, a solution of alpha-naphthol in 95% ethanol is added. The solution is then poured slowly into a tube containing 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid so that 2 layers are formed. Molish reaction. A positive test is indicated by the formation of a purple product at the interface of the 2 layers. A negative test is shown in the left and a positive test in the right. Anthron reaction. Anthron 9,10-dihydro-9-ketoanthracene reacts with many carbohydrates to give a green color. Procedure. 1 ml of a sample solution is placed in a test tube. 2 ml of a 0.2% of anthron in concentrated sulfuric acid is added. In the presence of carbohydrates, a clear green color will appear and will rapidly increase in intensity until a dark blue-green solution results. The formation of maltose. Maltose forms when 2 alpha-glucose molecules undergo a condensation reaction and form a glycosidic bond between the 2 molecules. Maltose is a disaccharide formed when 2 alpha-glucose molecules are covalently bonded together. Thank you for being with us till now.